Hello. I've had a good look at the 2005 Ford GT, and here are the details that I have noticed. Number 1. The trunk space is for the trunk lid. There isn't much space to fit around any luggage from it. There are a few shelves and storage spaces in the interior of the car, but it doesn't really have a space for your clothes. A front trunk is common in many mid-engine supercar, but in the Ford GT, the front trunk, which does look like it may have a big space, is mainly occupied by its two front ducts, so there isn't much else to put in it. Its 5.4-liter supercharged V8 engine is hand-built. There is a plaque in the engine that indicates who built the engine on a particular Ford GT. The speedometer is nearly in the middle. It's a really odd but beautiful design. It must be lifted straight from the design of the old GT40, which was designed so that the driver could monitor all the important gauges during the 24-hour race of Le Mans. It does mean though that they could only put 3 air vents, but it isn't really much of an issue since it doesn't have so much space for an interior. Hinges on the sides aren't for the hood, but for the front trunk and fuel cap. This very beautiful detail on the side of the car doesn't exactly open up the entire front end, but rather each side opens a particular lid. One is for the front trunk, while the other is for the fuel filler cap. Either of which are really much needed since you can open both from the inside or by using the remote, but the designers added it on because it makes it feel extra special. The door has a roof. Since nearly every minor design feature of the Ford GT is lifted from the GT40 race car, it is fair to assume that the big ones made it as well. The door of the GT opens normally, but it takes a part of the roof with it. In the races of Le Mans, it would help a lot in the start or during driver changes, because the driver could just simply open the door fully and jump on it instead of having to crouch himself in the car if the roof was fixed. But in normal daily scenarios like in parking, you might get trapped out of your car once someone parks close enough to it. Although I still maintain that it's more convenient that the door takes the roof with it rather than without it because the car is so low. It had a much better looking steering wheel than the new Ford GT. The 3-spoke and chunky wheel of this Ford GT, with the GT emblem in the middle, is so much better looking than the square steering wheel with the cheap looking GT lettering in the new Ford GT. It has a beautiful interior with aluminum center console and accents. Despite being made in the early 2000s, the GT didn't fall in the trap of making interiors with plastic. Sure, there are some cheap bits and buttons from cheaper Fords at the time, but its overall look with metal trim more than makes up for it. Chunky wing mirrors but really small mirrors. The wing mirror of this car each looks like half a wheel of cheese. Although it looks good, there isn't much mirror from it, which makes it difficult to see behind. Everything else is chunky. Not only the mirrors are chunky, but nearly everything else. The hinges, the buttons, the wheel, and even the A-pillars are oversized and look so heavy and strong. It competes with the Ferrari 360 and the Lamborghini Gallardo, but this arguably have aged better. In terms of power, the GT both have the 360 and the Gallardo eating dust. Cool toggle switches for simple things like the hazard button and the lights. I just love how they use toggle switches instead of buttons because it makes it feel more retro. Every vent is functional. There isn't any much fakery here, and every detail has a sole purpose for the car itself. It sounds powerful. Hearing this supercharged engine from far away makes it sound like trouble is coming. I mean, just listen to it. Ironically, it looks and goes like a Ferrari. Is it a problem? Every GT owner would probably have come across a non-car person and have been told that it's a nice Ferrari, especially when it's in red. However you look at it, it could mean that the only way for Ford to beat Ferrari is to be like them, or they just went ahead and beat Ferrari at their own game. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. These are all the things I've noticed in the 2006 Ford GT. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to my channel.